Hi everyone, and welcome to An Artist Drink Cocktails. I'm your host, Katie Phillips. Tonight's episode is going to be a really good one, especially if you are an artist who uses Instagram to market and reach new people. I'm going to be speaking with Jamie Dixon tonight, who is going to walk us through everything. I think she's on here now, and I'm going to try and connect us. So go live. I'm expert, coach, strategist, and offers a wealth of knowledge. So here she is. Hi, Jamie.
Hi. How are you?
I'm
Thank you
good.
for
How are
having
you?
me. I'm good. I'm trying to get set up over here to make sure I can see everything. So, Instagram keeps changing everything. And
Yes.
let's see. I think this
Yeah.
is good. Okay, good. We're good.
Okay, good. Yeah, no, it's like they're always changing something. So yeah, it's especially, I feel like they just had a whole bunch of changes come out. So I'm really glad
I
that I'm talking to
know.
you tonight.
I know. I know. I see my friend Heather joined. Hi, Heather.
Oh, yay.
I feel like one of those fancy influencers who are like, hi, thanks for joining.
Oh, yeah.
My dreams
You know
come
it.
true.
Okay, so first things first, what kind of cocktail did you bring to the party tonight?
So I had intended, let me tell you about the drama that I've had for the last hour. My son's fish died. Henry, my 8-year-old, has had this fish for a year and his fish died. So he was very upset. And I had planned to make this elaborate cocktail, but I'm getting here by the skin of my teeth. So I just have a standard glass of red wine tonight.
Yeah,
But I had intended to go to come prepared, and
yeah.
it didn't happen tonight.
You know what? It happens. Well, maybe if you share with me the drink recipe, we can maybe post it on Friday, and we can do the Friday featured cocktail, and that can be.
Oh, well, I mean, it's not that fancy, but yes, we can chat and I can send you my at-home Moscow Mule recipe.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Well,
Yeah.
So I was just trying to tell little people, just introduce you. So you are an Instagram strategist, coach,
Yes.
content expert. So
Yes.
tell us, a little bit about what you do and how you got started, helping people with their Instagram.
Yeah. So I've always had a writing background. I went to Mercer University in Macon
Mm-hmm.
for journalism and communications, and ended up working in communications for a while before I had my kids. Very long story short, I was a stay-at-home mom for a long time. And I think this a lot of people would resonate with not wanting to just be at home. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but needing something to do other than just momming 24/7. And so I started blogging and freelance writing for a couple of magazines around here. And then I really started to go all in on freelancing back in 2019, and started to feel a huge connection with this Instagram community that I had fallen into, and had found that the best way to market my services was by, making friends with all these people on Instagram. And so I
Yeah.
decided to offer that social media management and Instagram consulting as a service, and
Mm-hmm.
the rest is history.
Yeah. Well, and I know that your niche is family-focused businesses, but I feel like the topic that we're going to talk about tonight can really apply to artists or any type of
For
business.
sure. Yes, yes. And I think, yes, a lot of the things that we'll talk about tonight are universal when it comes to marketing any kind of small business, but especially in the art community, because I feel like that is a pretty a strong niche, and there is a lot of camaraderie between artists.
Yes.
I feel like, and so being able to take advantage of that in a digital space is something that we can definitely talk about tonight.
Yeah. So you're going to tell us all about increasing like tips and tricks to increase engagement on Instagram. So first of all,
Mhm.
why is engagement so important?
Well, I feel like Instagram can seem like this elusive, mysterious, nobody can ever figure it out. It's everyone wants to blame the algorithm, and if something's not going right, they're going to blame the algorithm for it. And really, that can be while Instagram is always changing, and there are things that work and don't work, and you can never really figure out why. There are always two things that are going to be true in Instagram land, and that is storytelling. It is a storytelling app. People love to connect with stories.
Mm-hmm.
And the next thing is building community through engagement.
Right.
And you cannot get engagement in your content unless you are able to give it to other creators as well, other business owners.
Mm-hmm.
And so engagement is so important, because when when you have content that a lot of people are connected with and engaging with, and just to be clear, engagement for anyone who might not know is people who interact with your content, or when someone interacts with your content. So likes, comments, sharing to stories, saving those posts, those are all forms of engagement that tell Instagram's algorithm that your content wants to be seen by that particular person who's engaging with it.
Right.
So that is why it is such a crucial part of your strategy, because without solid engagement, your content is likely not to be seen as often or as much as it could be.
Right.
Did I answer your question?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
And when you have that high engagement, that means that tells Instagram, oh, this is like interesting stuff. Let's show it to more people.
Right. Yeah. So I've heard of a lot of other people in my industry call it high quality accounts or high quality content. The more engagement you have on a post, it sends signals to Instagram that this is really high quality content. We really want to show this to more people because it seems to be getting a lot of traction.
Yeah.
So yes, that's a very good point.
Okay. So tell us, so just kind of walk us through some of these tips and tricks that we can do, that we can start doing like right now.
Like right now, as we're talking.
Or right after this.
No, yeah. I mean, literally, you could, well, I guess you can't engage on Instagram while you're watching a live, but if you've got multiple devices, you could give it a try. So my biggest tip is to engage on the app just as often as you create content, especially if you're a newer account. And sometimes that means like 20 to 30 minutes a day. You can break it up throughout the day, but when you're scrolling on Instagram, do it with a little bit of intention and a little bit of thoughtfulness. Don't just mindlessly scroll, but if you see something that you connect with or that you like, leave a comment. So that would be my biggest tip, is to engage just as much as you post content. Okay. My second tip, I actually have 4. So okay. My second tip would be to engage around the time that you post. Okay. So my strategy, and I actually learned this from my friend Emily Schwalbach, who's a good friend of mine and another Instagram consultant. Respond to any DMs before you post. So that when you have when you talk to someone in DMs, that tells Instagram that you have a relationship, that you are friends with this person, and so Instagram is going to show that content to that person because you've got that relationship going. You like and respond to comments on your previous posts. So if you had a post that you posted yesterday, go through and make sure that you responded to all of those comments. Again, it's signaling to Instagram that you have a relationship with the people who left those comments. It's the same for liking those comments as well.
Well, I have a quick question for you.
Yeah.
So like if because I remember at one time, and this has probably changed, it was like someone had to if someone post within the first 8 minutes you posted something, you had to, if someone commented, you were supposed to comment right back.
Yes.
Do you still advise that?
I mean, I wouldn't get so caught up in the number 8 by any means. I don't think that there's a hard and fast rule about the time, but yes, try to respond to those first comments, especially those that were left within the first hour or so. Right. Because it is signaling, again, sending that signal to the Instagram gods that that content is gaining some traction. So what happens in the first, I would say, hour after you post is more, sends Instagram that signal and gives them an idea that they need to keep pushing that content out.
Okay.
The second thing I would say to do right around the time that you post, or maybe it was the third thing, is to engage with 5 to 10 posts in your feed. So again, go and comment, leave thoughtful comments. We're not doing just dropping emojis here. We're actually reading the captions and we're saying something thoughtful in those captions. And so that is the very first thing that I would do, is just try to engage around the time that you post. After you post, engage with the posts, with the hashtags that you used in your post. So as an artist, you're probably using hashtags like, interior design hashtags or home hashtags or gallery hashtags. Go and engage with the posts, the most recent posts in those hashtags. Because that is creating new relationships, right? You're introducing yourself to newer accounts that you might not be following. And then the third or the fourth thing that I want to advise you to do when it comes to hashtags is, instead of spending a lot of time deciding which hashtags to use in your posts, spend more time engaging with the hashtags that your ideal clients, customers are using. So let's say you have a goal to get in a gallery. Go and find the hashtags that those galleries are using and engage with those.
Okay.
Because hashtags can be very, they work one day and they don't work another day, but engagement is always going to work. Forming those relationships is always going to work.
Okay. All right.
So those would be my quick and fast tips, but I'm happy to answer any other questions that you might have.
Yeah. So I know you mentioned the responding to DMs right before you post. Like, say someone like sends like just a quick reaction, like a heart emoji on one of your stories. Does that count as a DM? And then you like maybe tap back to like it. Does that count as a back and forth? Or?
I think it does. I think that anytime you interact with someone, that's going to again send that signal. I think I've said that like 1,000 times, but I think instead of also thinking about it from an algorithm, computer program point of view, which is important, also think about the relationship side. So the more that you interact and have like real conversations with people, the better off you are just from a business building relationship standpoint. So let's say somebody taps a heart on something that you just shared. Sending one little sentence back saying, hey, thanks for responding, or this was so funny, right? Like, trying to start that conversation is going to get you farther than just liking a story or liking a post.
Okay. Gotcha. So, okay, I know. And I feel like I had like some more questions, and now they just like, boop, like we're
that's okay. That's okay. Yeah. And I can talk about this stuff forever. So if you leave me alone, I might go on we could be here all night.
Yeah.
Also, answer any other questions you've got.
Okay. Well, I do know. I remember. So last year, you helped me out a lot, and actually did some of your power hours, which were so helpful. And then I got so crazy with work, and I had like this whole list of ideas. And I was like, oh God, I just don't have time to post them or do them.
I know.
But
that the hardest part.
Yeah. So tell people a little bit about your power hours that you do, and some of the stuff with that.
Yeah, so I think it was last spring I was working with one of she is now a management client of mine, and she was, at the time she wasn't, but she was saying, I just feel like I've got all of these ideas. I don't know how to organize them into a strategy. Could we just meet for an hour to plan out some content? And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And so before I knew it, I was like, this is actually really valuable. So I started marketing it to a few of just people in my close circle, and it has ended up being one of my most popular offers ever. It's called the Content Planning Power Hour. And basically you and I'll use you as an example. We meet for an hour. And within that hour, we plan out a month's worth of content. So it usually ends up being about at least 15 pieces of content. And that includes, the type of content, whether it's a photo, a reel, an infographic. It includes a summary of the content that you're going to share in the caption. It includes the headline is already written for you. So the first line of your caption is written, the CTA is written, and then if it's a reel, I offer reel suggestions. The great thing about the Power Hour is that I do a lot of work ahead of time based on a worksheet that my clients fill out. And so typically we get done in about 45 minutes, and we use the last 15 minutes of that session to basically just ask any questions you have about your Instagram strategy. And then I package it all up. I email you the calendar and some other goodies. And you also this wasn't an offer last year, but now you get 2 weeks of virtual support via a platform called Voxer as well. So anytime you have questions about Instagram, I'm at your disposal for about 2 weeks. So it's a really awesome offer, if I do say so myself.
I know. I need to. It's almost scared to because I know your time. You only have a certain number of slots each month. I'm almost scared to tell people about it because
I know. Hey, well, don't do that. Tell shout it from the rooftops for me.
Right.
Man. No, I know what you're saying.
Yeah. No, it's just so valuable though.
Oh well, thank you so much. Yeah, I have to limit it because I want to be sure that I can really devote enough time and energy to the 5 that I do take on every month. And so they do tend to sell out pretty quickly, but I do have one left in March. So if anyone on here is interested in purchasing that last Power Hour, I'd be happy to chat with you about that. I see April just joined, and Mary Jo. Oh, all my friends are here. I'm so excited. Oh, Anne Marie is here, and my Aunt Molly is here.
Oh, that's so sweet.
It's special when your family can come on. So that's sweet. Thank you, Aunt Molly.
Yeah. And I do want to say, like, one of the things that, I learned, just kind of learned when I was working with you was talking about like the CTAs in the post, like specifically telling people, hey, do this, to get people to start commenting on the post.
Yes.
So
yes. We should add that to the list of things for easy engagement. You should have my job.
No.
CTAs are a fantastic, like the best way to get engagement on your posts, because CTA stands for call to action. And it's basically telling your people what you want them to do after they read your captions. So most of the time, if you want to get engagement on your posts, the best thing to do is to ask a question, and you want to keep it really simple. So one of my favorite strategies for a CTA is to do some kind of pop culture reference in the headline. So if, like, a lot of my people in my industry are very into like reality TV. So let's say what's more exciting than this week's episode of The Bachelor? That would be the headline. And then the next sentence would be my latest offer. And so then you would explain what the offer is, but explain the details. And at the very end, you could say, who are you rooting for this season of The Bachelor? And you would be surprised at how many people, they're not going to comment about your offer, but they are going to comment on their favorite Bachelor character, right? And what you want is engagement to help that sales post get seen. So CTAs are one of the best ways to increase engagement, for sure.
Okay. Yes. That was like huge for me last year. Was just really thinking through and being very careful in the way I worded that. So
yes. Does anyone else have any questions? Let's see who all's on here. It's so fun.
Let's see.
I helped Anne Marie earlier this week, and so I'm so excited about her content coming up. So very, very cool.
Yeah. Well, if I hear of any more, I'll certainly pass them along to you. And I wanted to do like a quick blog post or something with just maybe a quick summary of what we talked about, and then connecting people to your website and all that stuff. So if any more questions come through, just please push them through, and I'll make sure Jamie sees them, and we'll try to address those. So
for sure.
Yeah. And so I have my final question for tonight, and this is how I end it all. So if you could invite anyone over for a cocktail, living or dead, who would you invite?
So I have 2 answers. Is that okay?
That's fine. Yeah.
So my 2 best friends, one lives locally and one lives about 3 hours away. We never have a chance to get together anymore. And the one who's moved away used to live across the street. And so I miss her dearly. And I would love for the 3 of us just to be able to get together and have a cocktail, because we haven't seen each other in person in so long.
Oh, that sounds fun.
And then, yes, I miss them so much. And then my other response would be all of my Instagram friends. I have friends all over the country, in Indiana and North Carolina and Florida. And so I would love to just be able to just sit down for cocktails with them anytime I wanted to.
Yeah, no, I love meeting Instagram friends in real life. It's just,
I know.
It's so cool.
So bizarre, but also really, really cool. I mean, you remember when we were kids, our parents would say, never, meet someone that you met online. And truth, I'd say that to my kids too, but it's a bizarre, but really very cool thing that I get to do. And I'm so proud and so happy that I get to do it.
Yeah. Somebody's surprised that you didn't say Justin Timberlake to come over. For
oh my gosh. Yes, he would definitely be my third. But honestly, I would probably be so starstruck that it would not be a worthwhile meeting for sure.
Yeah, I would just
for that, Kara.
I hear you.
Yeah, although that would be pretty cool too. Any of the NSYNCers, but especially Justin Timberlake for sure.
All right. Well, if anybody knows Justin, let's spread the word.
Right. Let's broadcast that. Let's get him to engage with some of my content for sure. Although one time, one of the very first posts that I did when I first started my business was just about Justin Timberlake. So stupid. About how I went to a concert of his, and it was a memory that I wanted to share. But I'm telling you, to this day, that is the most engagement I have ever gotten on a post, was about Justin Timberlake. And I was like, that's right. He's amazing.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jamie, for jumping on. I know you've had such a hectic afternoon, but it really meant the world for you, to me, for you to come on and
well, thank you so much for having me.
Of course. So, we will. So I'm going to. So this is recorded, and I'm going to share it for anyone who might not have got to see the whole thing. And then I know I had several people who were like, "Oh, I really want to see this, but I can't be there live." So a lot of people are very interested in this, and
Well, I hope that everyone finds it valuable. And if you have any questions, or if I didn't make sense or something didn't seem clear, please send me a DM. I'm happy to answer any questions in the DM.
All right. Well, that's great. Well, thank you again. And I guess I will end it with a virtual cheers.
Right. Yay. Oh, all right.
All right. Well, bye, Jamie. Thank you so much.
See you later. Thank you. Bye, friends.
All right. Bye.